Iran has one of the largest oil and gas industries today, but you may be wondering, how did it get to the point where it is right now? And in fact, it has a very long history with lots of events in it, starting with Cyrus the Great. Cyrus the Great was an ancient Persian conqueror. He was born of royalty and was a brilliant military strategist. He ruled the Achaemenid dynasty and expanded his ancestral realm into a mighty empire. What made him different was that he triumphed by showing singular tolerance and mercy to those he defeated. Eventually, the ancient Persian Empire came to an end, and to single out the changes that had come to Persia under the rule of the Reza Shah, it would be known as Iran.
Before the Iranian Revolution, the Shah was a title given to the emperors, kings, princes, and lords of Iran. Mohammad Reza Pahlavi was the last Shah of Iran, and he fled to Egypt in exile when the Iranian Revolution ended. He was known as the Shah because he was the last one to ever exist. He lost support from the Shia clergy and working class because he was accused of corruption with the royal family, and he caused the White Revolution, a series of economic, social, and political reforms with the proclaimed intention of transforming Iran into a global powerhouse and modernizing the nation by nationalizing certain industries. However, this cost billions of dollars in the country's money. Another factor was that he built the Savak, a prison located in the capital of Iran, and it was made under his rule. Inside of it, he tortured political enemies, agents of the CIA, and communists and socialists. After the revolution, Ruhollah Khomeini, an Iranian Shah cleric who led the revolution, overthrew the Shah in 1979. When the Iranian Revolution started, Ayatollah was used as the new term for the leader of Iran. The first Ayatollah, Khomeini, was an Iranian Shah who led the revolution. Under his rule, Iran immediately became a republic, which implies that Iran's leftists were totally excluded from the government. Conservative values were enforced, and the country became very anti-Western. Any sign of American capitalism were banned and strictly forbidden. For example, 52 U.S. students that were in the embassy were held captive for 444 days. It was to lure the previous Shah back to Iran and have him executed. However, it did not work, and the hostages were held from November 4th, 1979 to January 20th, 1981, when they were liberated. During Ayatollah Khomeini's regime, the war between Iran and Iraq was declared.
So the war started on September 22nd, 1980, when Iraq armed forces invaded western Iran along the country's joint border. Though Iraq claimed that the war had begun earlier that month on September 4th, when Iran shelled a number of border posts. Fighting was ended by a 1988 ceasefire, though the resumption of normal diplomatic relations and the withdrawal of troops did not take place until the signing of a formal peace agreement on August 16, 1999. So the Iran-Iraq War is what shaped Iran today.
So today, Iran has a population of about 81.8 million and has two leaders, the supreme leader, who is currently Ali Khamenei, and the president, who is Hassan Rouhani. Its two most important industries are oil and gas, and it's what it's based most of its wealth off of.
So in conclusion, Iran has a very long history with lots of things to debunk and lots of stories, and it's overall a very beautiful country today. Thank you for listening.